Okay.
And
And 3, 2. Holy shit, that was fast. We're live.
Oh,
Woo! Well, hi
everybody,
everybody.
welcome
wow.
back to Rolls to Astonish, where this week we're doing things a little bit differently.
Yep, that's right. So instead of like playing the actual game, we're gonna do a table read because we're gonna read a script for basically what happened in Adele's dad's past that is relevant to future content that you will see on this channel. So it's gonna be interesting. So yeah, I guess there's no real introductions to be done, because
We're not playing our characters, we're literally doing voices.
that's right.
That's fair.
We could still introduce the voicers.
I guess.
Yeah, we're basically gonna do that now anyway because we're gonna be assigning people roles. So the first role is gonna be the role of Ernest. This one is
Oh.
obviously gonna be taken
Oh.
by Zach. So Ernest
Oh, boy.
is your daddy-o. So
Yeah, I have
Camp.
yeah, so it's got to go to you.
boys.
All right. For the next biggest role, N, who is kind of a more serious straight man kind of a character. Who wants to take N? Don't everybody jump up at once.
You know,
I
I could
mean-
just talk to myself.
Should I elect somebody?
I mean, I can't really do male voices that well, so
I think we've already got a role for you too anyway. Like we talked about this like off
yeah,
screen.
we did.
Okay, Evan, you're gonna be N.
Yes, the perfect straight man.
The perfect straight.
The perfect straight
You're better at being a straight man than I am.
man.
That's fair, dude. That's fair.
Okay,
Uh,
Haley is going to play the part of the dragon. Dan, do you think you could be the mayor for me?
Sure.
Okay, cool. And that's literally Dan, could you also be Nana for me?
I'll do my
Like-
best.
Okay. All right. So she's the she's like the mayor's assistant, so you might have some lines back to back. So get your soprano voice out for this.
I'm not sure I have one.
Perfect. Love it. Okay. And then
let's see.
I will be. I don't want to read screen for everything. This is why I wish Reiko showed up, because then he could read some screen. So I'll read screen for episodes 1 and 3. Dan, would you be willing to read screen for episode 2?
Sure.
All right, cool.
I like
And
to read.
then
Question about N.
Hmm.
What
What?
kind of voice am I doing here?
I don't know, just this pretty normal voice, pretty like I guess somewhat gruff, somewhat serious.
Sure.
Considering
also
some of the
Haley?
lines.
Haley, could you do the voice of any like other random characters that appear? Okay, perfect. All right, then here we go. So exterior woods at the border of Ordinary Town, morning. Coming from our stupid ass looking map. All right.
I'll zoom in.
Ernest, a bounty hunter with with short red hair and green eyes, brandishes his katana like a machete, hacking through branches and bushes as he makes his way along what can barely be called a path. In his other hand, he carries a map crumpled in his fist. Behind him, pushing through the brush, is N, a man with strong, angular features, white hair, and piercing blue eyes, Ernest's partner. N tries to shove his way through thick plant life, but trips on a rock and slams into Ernest, bringing both men down to the ground in a crumpled heap. The two untangle themselves and glare at one another.
Damn it, Neil. This shortcut isn't very short.
An aneurysm mark appears on N's temple, the kind you only see when an anime character is pissed.
You're already trying to pick a fight with me already today. I told you never to call me that. We're on a mission. The name's N.
Oh, quit your whining. What sort of man can be ashamed of his own name? A true man would embrace it, say it loud, and make sure his enemies never forgot it.
I'm telling you, that's the problem. I'm going for intimidating here. What enemy do you think is going to be cower before the great and powerful bounty hunter, Neil?
Sorry. Well then, change your fucking name, Neil. You're a man. Chart your own course. Choose your own life. Pick your own name.
I'll have you know my mother gave me that name.
Oh, so you're little mama's boy? Aren't you? Little mama's boy gonna keep mama's little boy name because mama gave it to her little boy? If you were a real man, you wouldn't care what your mama thought.
And why the hell are you so fixated on being a man? You think you're cool,
Oh.
but you're not.
Oh, I don't know. Why are you so fixated on being a little bitch? That's ashamed of his own name.
The two become a dust cloud of angry fists and shonen tempers. Suddenly, the long, drawn-out groan of Ernest's stomach pauses the fight, each hunter in mid-swing.
Yeah, you're out of fuel. It's my win.
N's stomach lets loose an equally loud groan of protest. The two sulkily walk across the sad excuse for a path.
I blame you for this. This shortcut was your idea.
Excuse me? You're the one who wanted to take a shortcut. I just pointed it out.
Well, you pointed out the wrong shortcut, because at this rate we're gonna be practically...
The two burst through the thick woods to overlook the valley and path leading down into Ordinary Town.
Here.
Well, I think we can both agree that my map reading skills are peerless. Now, for the first order of business.
Both stomachs roar at the same time, and both men nod their heads vigorously. Exterior Normal Town 15 minutes later. Ernest takes up the lead, walking with his hands folded behind his head. N trails behind, studying the buildings and villagers as they walk.
Damn. Isn't there any place we can get some grub?
I'm not sure any of these people are in any position to give anybody else their food, Ern.
Mothers and children look up with sunken cheeks, watching the two bounty hunters pass by. Ernest's eyes soften as he sees a young mom with two underfed kids, a boy and a girl.
I'm afraid this bounty hunt might be a bust after all. Can't see these people being able to pay what they promised.
Ernest pulls a stale crust of bread out of his pocket and hands it to the woman.
Here. It's not much, but it's all I got left.
The woman's eyes water as she takes the bread.
Thank you.
She starts breaking the measly portions apart and passes pieces to her kids. Ernest ruffles the hair of the son and starts walking again. N observes all of this without expression. As he walks, Ernest shoves his hands in his pockets. Light gleams off of a thin gold chain, like the chain of a necklace which hangs out of one of Ernest's pockets. N glances down at the chain as he silently follows.
You're too soft, Ern. I know how much you eat. You needed that food if we're going to make it to the next town to find work.
We already have a job here, Neil. Once I've accepted a contract, I see it through. That way, as a man, I stick to my word.
Don't call me... Never mind. Let's just speak to the mayor and see what he's offering.
Interior mayor's house. The mayor, a bald man with a white mustache that has the look of a man who is used to being much fatter, sits across from Ernest and N at a small wooden table.
We are so glad you came. No one else would take the job, you see. It's dangerous, but I'm sure two accomplished hunters like yourselves can handle it.
I'm afraid we'll have to decline. In your quest, you promised us a mountain of gold if we slew the beast. Clearly you lied, and we do not work for liars.
No. I didn't lie. We can pay. You just have to slay the beast to get to the treasure.
Treasure, not credits.
Yes, you see, the monster you're hunting is a dragon. It showed up here only a few weeks ago, and it's been taxing us of our gold and livestock ever since. It was only once every few months at first, but then the taxes became more and more frequent, daily in fact. As the creature's greed grew and our resources dwindled, we realized we had to seek out help, or else starve.
And you neglected to mention that this monster was a dragon on the request?
Well, it might have slipped my mind to mention the exact species of monster, but I did mention that this was an S-class request, and we are willing to pay handsomely for it. Half of the treasure once the beast is slain.
And you never tried to drive the monster off with your own power?
Well, naturally, I would never ask regular men to face such a beast. Some of our young boys tried, but none came back alive. That's because no man can stand against a dragon.
Nana, a pretty elf woman dressed in clergy clothes with a sage-like look in her eyes, steps out of another room in the mayor's house and walks up to the table of men. Her devil eyes are a deep blue with yellow slitted pupils. Yellow runes like the Roman numerals of a clock circle her irises.
Any mortal who would stand against a beast of that caliber without a trump card is a fool.
Lady, I don't think you know who you're telling to.
It's supposed to be talking to. Sorry, that's my bad.
You're talking to. I made my name hunting demons for a living. And Neil here
And
used to assassinate vampires for sport. We're no strangers for taking on big fish.
Nana's eyes glow and her yellow pupils expand slightly.
Be that as it may, the two of you are but a B+ ranked hunter and an A-. Even working together, you cannot hope to defeat a dragon.
Piss off, lady. Why'd you even hire us if you didn't even think we could do the job?
You cannot hope to defeat a dragon. That is, unless you have an ace up your sleeve.
She pulls an item out of her sleeve and places it on the table. The item looks like a gold-colored metal heart. A glass face looks into an empty chamber on the inside, and a cruel, thick spike juts from the bottom. The entire mechanism is a bit longer than a man's forearm. The two hunters look over it curiously.
and what is it?
A heart eater. A device that steals that which is most precious away from the one that it is used upon. If you stab this into the heart of the dragon, I believe you can defeat it.
Huh.
He picks up the heart eater and thumbs the tip thoughtfully before.
Don't need it.
He casually chucks it over his shoulder. With a less than manly shriek, N dives for the thing before it hits the ground. He glares up at Ernest from where he face planted.
You fucking moron! I swear one day I'll kill you over one of these things.
Can't
Keep your
hear
little-
ya.
That's the point. Grumbling. Keep your little toy points. We've got something even better.
Ernest's eyes twinkle with stars as he pumps a clenched fist into the air.
That's manly spirit.
All three of the others look at him with a squinty face.
Can you remind me why I associate myself with you?
Come on, Neil.
It's N.
It's time to hunt ourselves a dragon.
As Ernest takes a step toward the door, his stomach grumbles loudly and he face plants on the floor.
Oh, of course. Before you go, we've prepared a meal for you. We don't have much, but please, dig in, dig in.
Ernest is already digging into a full-course meal laid out on another table. He rips a chunk of bread and chews loudly.
I couldn't possibly think of the children. Oh, maybe one more bite.
And smiles affectionately at Ernest.
Oh, you big oaf. Why do I stick around you?
The white-haired man picks up an apple and takes a bite.
We'll gladly accept that half a mountain of gold, and we'll accept this as our down payment.
He fastens the heart eater onto his belt.
And I'll be taking this for good measure.
Ernest looks up from chewing.
Pussy.
What the fuck did you just say to me, you fucking piece of shit?
Once again, Anne and Ernest are a cloud of senseless violence. Only every now and again a hand emerges from the cloud to grab an item of food from the table. The mayor rubs his head worriedly with a cloth as he and Nana watch.
I'm not sure about these two, Nana. I am. These are the ones that I saw in my vision. The only ones who can defeat the dragon.
The dust cloud continues to roll across the ground. Interior dragon's cave, same. Heaps of gold sparkle in the cave. A long blue tail rakes across the gold. A set of yellow burning eyes open.
Not enough. It's never enough. I need more. More!
Great wings beat, scattering gold coins around the walls.
Give me more!
That was a great witch cackle. Exterior dragon's cave, same. The dragon explodes out from the mouth of the cave, a sapphire streak shooting through the air before it opens its wings and flaps furiously toward the town. To be continued. And
In
with
just a
that, in just a moment. All right. Episode 2, everyone.
Break. We're glad to
Yeah.
announce this live stream is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid
No,
Shadow
no.
We are not sponsored by
We are not. Evan, I swear I will murder you.
Sorry.
Hashtag could be.
How about NordVPN?
You know,
Okay.
we can help pray.
Anywho, episode 2. Dan, are you cool with reading screen for this one? And I'll take over any random voices. I'll take over the mayor too.
Okay.
All right.
Exterior, normal town. Day. Ernest and N stand at the edge of town, the mayor, Nana, and a half-dozen villagers seeing them off. Behind them is the pathway toward the mountain where the dragon lairs. Ernest pumps a confident thumb at his chest and grins.
Don't worry, normal people of normal town. We'll accomplish our mission no matter the cost. Yes, even if it should take us days to find the dragon, even weeks or months or years, nothing will prevent us from.
Boom! An explosion of dust and broken trees announces the arrival of something huge from the sky. After a pause, both N and Ernest turn to see great wings beat the air, causing the dust to swirl. Burning yellow eyes, hey, it's correct this time, flash from the dust cloud, a triangular face with long, sharp white teeth snarling. The dragon's mouth opens up and lets out an ear-splitting roar.
Tribute! I demand tribute!
The dragon's voice is feminine, if you couldn't tell, and echoes in the mind instead of being spoken.
Well, that was a lot quicker than expected.
Not often our query comes to us. A bit unfortunate, though. I was rather looking forward to the hike to settle that meal.
Ernest seems to ignore N, staring intently at the shadow of the dragon with a perplexed look on his face. Bleh. The villagers all back up. A breath from the dragon clears the dust cloud, revealing blue scales and a golden mane running down the back of its neck.
What did you say, human?
Well, simply put, we are here to hunt you.
The dragon opens its maw and lets out a laugh. She looks over at the like that. She looks over at the mayor, who is now cowering behind a building, his head poking out from around the corner.
I thought you had all learned your lesson when I burned those boys you sent to my cave. No human can defeat me.
Well, you haven't tangled with these humans.
Eager to die, I see. Well then, I'll send you to the afterlife without any delay.
Fire begins to gather in her mouth before
Wait!
the fire stops. The dragon looks down curiously.
Are you a girl dragon?
Does it matter whether I am male or female when you will be eaten by me all the same?
No, it's not that. It's just I have a very good sense about these things. So I know that you're a very, very hot girl dragon.
Oh, fuck me.
Everyone's faces are. How would you describe that, Cody?
Sun.
Yeah, maybe I should have thought about this before I wrote it like that.
I
But
can-
basically, like those big giant anime eyes where they become like the size of goose eggs, except for notably Nana's face, who like she's got the little kitty cat smile on her face, like she's about to go write some pervy fan fiction.
Yeah,
Damn it.
Ernest has the biggest grin on his face, confidence overflowing as he points at the dragon.
I cannot fucking believe you.
Oh, come on. Come on. You know my intuition's pretty good.
Please burn.
The villagers scatter as a huge cone of fire with the intensity of a jet engine erupts from the dragon's mouth. N blinks out of reality and teleports away. Ernest faces the flames down with stalwart resolution. The flames settle, and the ground where the fire had been shot is melted, several houses having been cleared from the blast. Ernest stands in the center where the blast struck, red mech armor covering his whole body. Smoke rises up from him before he crumples down to one knee.
Damn. Dragon's fire is no joke. Even with my flame-resistant armor, I can't afford to take another hit like that.
A heavy blue tail shoots out and sends the man flying through the house the mayor and Nana are hiding behind. The mayor lets out a shrill cry as Ernest explodes out the other side, and Nana shields her eyes from the debris. N blinks back into existence on top of what is left of the house, and the dragon's piercing yellow eyes look into the mayor's direction. Several townsfolk panic and run for it.
Why? Why? Why can't you humans just obey your queen? I'll have to punish you. I'll have to punish you all. All of you humans will learn to obey!
The dragon takes off into the air and lets loose a torrent of flame down the middle of town. N shields his eyes as he watches, analyzing. Suddenly, his hand shoots out, and a silver sphere, a little smaller than an apple, materializes. The sphere drops to the ground before splitting into multiple identical spheres that then phase into the ground.
And
Ernest, you still alive? Think you can still fight?
Ernest rises up, wiping some blood from his mouth.
You kidding? I can do this all day.
Yeah, right.
The dragon lets loose another breath of flame, burning another section of the town.
Let's do out of the frying pan.
Where'd you put the fire?
N points to where the spheres faced into the earth. A katana materializes in N's hand.
You set the hook and I'll reel.
Got it.
A lance and shield materialize in Ernest's hands, and a set of mech wings unfold at his shoulders.
I'm counting on you, Neil.
It's N.
Jets blast from under the wings, and Ernest blasts into the air, leaving a small crater from his takeoff. In the sky, Ernest spins around rapidly, gaining on the dragon. He dives under her and then swiftly jets up under her. The dragon looks down and swerves to the side just before Ernest is able to pierce her. Ernest swerves, then comes in again, aiming at her head, but she dodges again and lets loose a breath attack at him. Ernest raises his shield, but is pushed back by the flame. And two more breath attacks, and Ernest zigzags through the air, dodging the blasts while moving toward N.
Come on, you stupid lizard. Take the bait.
With a roar from the dragon, the aerial chase continues. A great blue predator chasing a small blazing red mouthful. Finally, Ernest is able to coax her close enough, and N runs his finger across the katana. A shine runs down the edge, and he swings his weapon. A barely visible thread flies from the edge of the blade. The dragon and Ernest are now flying straight at each other. A smile glistens in the dragon's eyes.
Fool.
She opens her mouth when suddenly a shimmering thread wraps around her middle. Doesn't hinder her beating wings. She stops and looks down at N. The thread leads down to the base of his sword. N pulls, the thread going taut.
You think that an attack on this level can cut through my scales?
N touches the thread with a finger, and a shimmer runs down it. Suddenly, the thread easily cuts through her scales, and the dragon lets out a roar. Then, above, Ernest is diving down from above her, his lance and shield dematerializing to be replaced by a giant mechanical fist.
Take this!
Fire, like a jet engine, erupts from the back of Ernest's fist as he slams into the dragon's back. The I'm not sure what that term means.
Jets.
Jets.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The jet.
Sorry, there's some spelling errors in here. My
Well,
bad.
I was trying to parse it. I didn't think about flipping letters. Anyway, the jets under his wings flare with greater intensity as he pushes her down to the earth. The dragon crashes down to the ground in a heap, and Ernest has just enough time to jet away before
Checkmate.
the ground beneath the dragon explodes, and she lets out a roar of pain and then flails to the ground. Ernest lands 30 feet away from her, and N blinks next to him.
Well, that was easier than expected.
Ernest smiles, but it doesn't reach his eyes. He almost looks disappointed.
Yeah. I guess we're just too great of a team.
N notices the fake smile, but then shakes it off and gives a sincere smirk. He punches Ernest in the shoulder.
I chalk it up to your dumb luck, you big lout.
Oh, wait. Is that Ed? Or is it me?
That's N.
Oh, gosh,
Yeah,
I can't read.
I made a few edits, so you're probably looking at an older version.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Alright, sorry.
The dragon's eye suddenly snaps open, and she rises. The two hunters ready themselves.
Ridiculousness. It is ridiculousness that 2 mere humans could reduce me to such a state. No more!
Whew, this is a large block. Blue flames engulf the
Actually,
dragon.
Dan, Reiko, do you want to take over screen for a bit?
Oh, we are joined
For
by
sure.
Ray.
This has been like a very screen heavy section. Oh wait, actually no, never mind. You don't even have it yet.
I don't know what the fuck. Good.
So,
Oh, okay.
the things we're on part 2. Look for the Lost Arm part 2 when you scroll up a little bit in the Hotblood chat.
Should be pinned.
Yeah, I have it pinned. So
I'm at part 2.
we're on what,
Page 7.
7?
Page 7. Okay.
So, have you ever read screen before?
No.
You just read everything that is not dialogue. So everything that doesn't have a character reading it. Yeah, and then also you do minor edits for Cody's bad spelling and grammar that he forgot to fix before starting the episode. So, yeah.
All right.
So starting with blue flames engulf the dragon.
Blue flames engulf the dragon. A blast of intense heat suddenly radiates from it, causing N and Ernest to shield their faces. Leaves on a tree smoke and then suddenly catch fire from the heat. The roofs on nearby houses start to catch as well. The dragon beats her wings. A torrent of hot wind swirls around her, causing Ernest and N to be pushed back a few feet. N looks down at the back of his hand, starting to turn red and smoking. 2 giant guns materialize in Ernest's hands, and he lets loose a hail of bullets. N swings his sword, and a razor-sharp thread lashes out. As the 2 attacks approach her, the dragon roars, and the heat from her flames intensifies. The bullets and threads melt before they reach her. N blinks away, and after hesitating, Ernest takes off as well. As he flies away, Ernest sees 2 villagers, a husband and wife, trying to flee. The husband coughs from the intensity of the heat and falls over. The wife stops and tries to lift him before she too succumbs to the heat and falls to the ground. Ernest grits his teeth and looks away. N blinks back into reality, far away from the dragon, but still within sight. Ernest lands next to him. N inspects the burnt skin on his hand.
Evan.
I'm doing it. We need to get away and regroup. We can't beat her like this, but if we wait for her to burn out all of her meth.
No, she'll burn down the town.
N frowns. He looks at the villagers flee and more houses catch flame.
Alright, but we'll have to take her out fast. I won't last long close to her. So we're gonna do that.
That?
Yes. That.
You keep saying that like I'm supposed to know that means.
You know, the thing, the new one, the one we haven't named yet.
Ernest's eyes squint in confusion, and then it clicks.
Ah. Oh, you mean the Princess Samurai?
No. I told you we are not calling it that, but yes, as embarrassing as it is, it's the only thing that I can think of right now that would deal enough damage to fast enough to take her out.
Ernest scoops in up princess style.
All right, Princess. Just remember, this was your idea.
Fuck off.
Ian's face goes red with embarrassment. Ernest's jets explode, and the two rocket into the air. After climbing high enough, Ernest flies away and then doubles back and flies straight at the dragon as fast as he can.
This is so undignified.
Well, I'll carry you like a man if you man up and own that sissy name of yours.
Fine. It's Neil.
Perfect.
The arm supporting Ian's legs drops, and Ernest instead carries him by the back of his collar. Wind whips Ian's hair back as they get closer and closer and closer. Ian grips his katana, ready to draw.
Get ready.
Ernest raises Ian up by the collar, getting ready to throw. Still covered in blue flames, the dragon's eyes burn yellow. A molten ball of flame forms in her jaws. Ernest and Ian zip toward her, only 100 feet away now.
Sorry. No.
Somebody got a little excited.
Yeah, sorry.
Ernest chucks in with all of his might, and In flies at her like a missile. The fireball shoots out of the dragon's mouth, but In warps out of distance. And the fireball instead explodes into Ernest, who drops out of the air and rolls to the side. The dragon's eyes widen.
Where did he go?
In blinks back into existence. The force Ernest's throw still carries him like a rocket. He draws out his katana and slashes a deep wound along the dragon's side. She lets out a roar, and In blinks out of existence again.
He reappears from the right, still carried by the momentum of the throw as he makes another cut.
As humility as this technique is, it's effective.
Hey, Evan, you sound a little quiet.
Sorry, let me, is this better?
Yeah, it's better.
Alright.
He blinks from left to right. Another flying slash.
By teleporting after each strike, I can change direction of my attack while not wasting the high velocity and power Ernest was able to give me.
Another cut, and another, and another. In teleports in front of the dragon.
This will be my final attack.
The dragon rears up, and In brings his katana down across her chest. He leaps back and swings the blood off his blade. A pause, and then blood sprays from all of the dragon's new wounds. In smirks.
If that didn't finish her, I don't know what could.
A red flame is reflected in In's eyes just before the dragon's fire engulfs him.
Ernest watches from a distance. The flames subside and N's burnt corpse falls to its knees and then face plants on the ground.
No.
With a struggle, Ernest gets up, wincing as he clutches his side. His armor is cracked in many places, and his helmet and the plating on his entire left shoulder and arm are missing.
No.
He reaches down into his pocket, pulling out a thin gold chain necklace.
Huh? Wait.
Ernest.
Sorry. I feel like I'm missing words. I might be still
Page 11.
Yeah. No way. Sorry, Ann. I didn't mean for this to happen. I just wanted to.
Ernest opens his hand, revealing a lock. Suddenly, the dragon is in front of him. Ernest looks up slowly to see her terrifying blue flaming visage, burning yellow eyes look down on him. Ernest smiles back insolently.
You haven't won yet, lizard.
The dragon's jaws open and snap down, taking off the top half of Ernest's body.
Ow! That's rough.
To be continued.
All right.
Ooh.
Episode 3.
Which none of us have read.
Yep, this is
Except Cody, who
completely
wrote
new. Except me, who wrote it. Yeah. Okay. Dan, do you want to take like the first part of the first half of it, and I'll take the second half?
For screen?
Yeah, if you want to. I'm happy to read it all, but
Okay. Yeah, sure.
you're like really good at it, so I thought I'd like. Yeah.
I enjoy reading.
Okay. Well, whenever you're ready.
Ernest's eyes slowly open. His breath pulses against a breathing mask. He's suspended in some kind of liquid. With a loud mechanical whirring, the liquid begins to drain. The door to the pod opens and spits Ernest out, who coughs on the ground. N's hands place a blanket over him.
Took you a bit to wake up, didn't it?
What happened?
We failed.
The townspeople.
Sent him a telecommunication. We haven't heard back from. I suspect it's not good.
Ernest reaches down to his side as if to grab something, then begins to frantically search.
Where is it? Where's my locket?
Apparently, you had it materialized when she killed you. I'm sorry, Ernest, but it's gone.
Ernest stands up and walks to the door with purpose.
Where are you going?
To finish the job.
Ernest, you can't be serious. You've already died once. You're gonna die again.
So what? I can do it.
I've kept count. If you die this time, you won't come back.
Ernest stops at the door.
I guess this is my last job.
Are you insane? What do you think you're throwing your life away for? That dragon won't kill them all. She needs them. Besides, you and I know that you can't beat her by herself.
Does that mean you're not coming?
Of course I'm not coming. Just because I have more lives than you doesn't mean I want to throw them away.
I see. Well then, Ed, it was good knowing you.
N looks a bit taken aback by the use of his nickname. He steps forward and puts a hand on Ernest's shoulder.
Ernest, please, you are my best friend. Don't throw your life away. We can get some more men and then attack her.
It's not just about the dragon, Neil.
N's eyes narrow as the pieces start to fall into place.
You've been planning this all along, haven't you?
In answer, Ernest opens the door and starts walking.
Fine. Go die if that's what you want. See if I care.
The door closes and N turns away.
See if I care.
Exterior, entrance to the dragon's lair. Afternoon. Ernest slams down on the ground in a new set of black armor. He rises up to view the dragon's cave entrance in front of him. Ernest's hand trembles a bit as he looks down at it.
Huh. I didn't think I'd be scared.
A giant chainsaw sword appears, materializing in the shaking hand. Ernest lets out a long sigh.
This has been a long time coming.
Ernest steps into the cave, his boot crunching into the dirt loudly. Interior, dragon's cave, same. Ernest walks determinedly forward, then stops. In front of him, the dragon slumbers on a pile of gold. At the very edge of the pile, one piece sparkles brighter than the others. Ernest steps forward and reverently reaches down to pick up his locket. Suddenly, a jet of fire explodes towards Ernest, who raises his sword to defend. The explosion of fire still sends him flying backwards. Ernest rolls, protecting the necklace in his grip. The dragon rises, a molten ball of flame forming in her mouth before she lets loose her most powerful explosion of fire yet. Ernest swings his great sword, the blades of the chainsaw spinning. His attack meets the oncoming blaze. He digs in his heels, but the force of the attack slowly pushes him back.
Not yet. That's not all I've got.
Ernest pours myth into his blade, and the chainsaw whirs faster and louder. The dragon's eyes glow, and the flame intensifies. Finally, Ernest's sword gives out, and with an explosion, he is thrown back. Ernest drops the locket as he grips his charred sword arm.
Well, that one hurt.
The dragon stands in front of Ernest, her yellow burning eyes glaring down at him, puffs of flame coming from her mouth.
It is not wise to steal from a dragon's hoard.
It's not wise to steal a man's greatest treasure.
The dragon throws back her head and laughs.
Greatest treasure? That little locket? Your hoard must be in a sorry state indeed, human.
This necklace is worth more to me than all of your hoard combined. A cold-hearted lizard like you could never understand.
Suddenly, the dragon's great maw is right in front of Ernest.
Then do pray tell, human. I hold 400 jewels, 900 magical scepters. I hold over 200 paintings, more than 100 rare statues. My lair holds 500 of the rarest books and scrolls, and hundreds of thousands of gold coins. So, pray tell, how does your one insignificant necklace, made of false gold, hold any value next to my hoard?
Ernest looks up at her in shock.
Isn't that enough?
What?
How much have you taken from these villagers? How much must you have taken in other towns over the years in order to acquire this much treasure? Don't you have enough? Why do you keep taking from these poor people?
Because it's never enough! How can a mere human such as you understand this hunger that I have? You say that your little necklace is worth so much to you. I envy you. You don't know the hunger that I feel. This avarice that is in me.
Avarice?
Yes, it is a thing that we dragons both love and hate about ourselves. The part of our soul that will always leave us hungry. But that we can never give up. To do so would be to deny what we are.
I see. Then I guess you are like me.
What?
Ernest opens the locket. In it is a picture of a young Ernest, barely 20, together with a wife and kid.
I know what it's like to have a hole so big in your heart. Nothing can fill it. This treasure of mine, it's all I have left of what I lost. Since then, it doesn't matter what I do. I can never be whole.
The dragon reaches her claw forward and the necklace floats out of Ernest's hand. She studies it with one large eye.
This treasure, before you lost it, you felt whole?
I had never felt so happy in my life.
The necklace floats back into Ernest's hand. Then, a bit hesitantly at first, the dragon rests the tip of her claw on Ernest's head. Flashback. Montage. Young Ernest is on his knees, cradling his dead wife, wailing. His house around him is mostly destroyed. Rain falls on him through a hole in the roof.
If I had just been stronger, more capable, I could have saved them. What kind of man can't protect his own family?
A far more muscular Ernest cuts down a demon with a huge sword. He turns and grabs another one with his open hand and crushes its skull.
I hunted down the demons who murdered my family, and I killed them all. But it wasn't enough.
Ernest, now dressed in heavy armor, grabs a wanted poster off the wall.
Another job? That's the third one this week. Keep this up and there won't be any more demons for the rest of us to slay.
More.
Ernest hacks through 3 black demons at once.
More.
A giant red-horned demon topples with Ernest's sword in its chest.
Demon hunting became my profession. But no matter how many I killed, it still wouldn't fill the hole in my heart.
Ernest sits glumly at a bar. A random adventurer puts his arm around his shoulder.
What's the point of drinking alcohol if all you're ever going to do is have that glum face? Come on, kid, cheer up a little.
You know, you're right. Drinks are on me.
Everyone in the bar cheers. A new bar. Ernest is the life of the party. Roughhousing, playing cards, getting into fights, and smiling afterwards.
More.
And is carrying a very drunk Ernest down the street.
Hey, aren't you that newbie? Aren't you? We should team up. I hear you're really good. More.
Ernest and N are back to back fighting against a horde of demons.
More.
In the red light district, Ernest has a young, pretty woman on either arm. N is red-faced with just one making advances on him.
You know, Ernest, you blow through money faster than anyone I know.
That's why I got you as my partner. Harder gigs pay more. More.
Ernest stands in his red mech suit.
Holy shit, what was the bill on that thing?
I don't know. I was drunk. By the way, I owe you some money.
You what?
That's not all. And that's not all.
Ernest pulls out a giant lance.
A spear. How many weapons are you gonna buy? You don't even know how to use a spear.
Well, I'll learn. More.
I think we're past the halfway point if you wanted to take
Yeah,
over.
we definitely are. Okay. You were just doing such a good job.
I mean, I can if you want.
Ernest, I'll read from here.
Okay.
Ernest sits at the edge of the bed. Two pretty women, different ones this time, lay asleep, the sheets covering their nakedness. Ernest stumbles out the door, tears leaking down his face.
More!
Ernest falls to his knees, his hand clutching his heart.
It's still there.
Ernest is back at the bar, holding a job ad up to N.
Hey, Neil, how about we do this one?
I told you to call me N. And isn't that job a bit out of our weight class? Dragons are no joke.
Nah, I'm sure me and you could take it. We're the best team around, aren't we?
Ernest, the missions you've been taking on lately, they're getting more and more dangerous. You don't have many lives left. You're not trying to get yourself killed, are you?
Beat. Ernest's face suddenly breaks into the widest, most enthusiastic grin, and he wraps a beefy arm around N's shoulder.
What, and leave you to all the fun and women? Not a chance.
End montage. Interior dragon's cave, same. The dragon's claw draws back from Ernest's head. Ernest looks up at her, tears leaking down his face.
You asked about my most precious treasure. When I was with her and our little girl, I felt whole. I felt complete. They were my greatest treasure. The treasure that could fill any other void.
A treasure that could fill any void. It sounds nice.
Ernest's burnt hand slides back to bump against something. Ernest's eyes flick to the object and then widen.
The Heart Eater. She must have taken it after she defeated us.
Well, human, now I am in a good mood, so I will allow you to live. The only thing that I ask for in return is this locket.
My life for my greatest treasure seems a fair trade, but I would rather take something else from you.
What?
I'll trade you my locket for your avarice, your greatest treasure for your greatest treasure.
That is one thing I cannot give you. For a dragon to deny your avarice is to deny your very being.
Well then, I'm sorry, but this is for our own good.
Ernest's hand grips the Heart Eater and he plunges the spike into her heart. The dragon rears back and her head lets out a roar. Gold light leaks from her, draining into the Heart Eater and filling up its glass vessel.
No! Not my avarice!
Ernest holds the Heart Eater in place, looking up at her defiantly. The golden energy continues to drain into the device.
Forgive me, but it's the only way you'll thank me later.
Without the core of my soul, who am I? You might as well be killing me.
No, I'm saving you.
The dragon's maw juts forward and snaps Ernest's charred arm off. Ernest reels back in pain. The dragon does the same, the golden light draining from her in greater force. She becomes enveloped in the glow and begins to shrink. The Heart Eater falls to the ground, a golden light pulsating in its globe. Ernest clutches the stub where his arm once was. He blinks as his hazy vision can just barely make out a feminine figure crumpling to the ground. Then he closes his eyes and collapses. Interior Dragon's Cave later. N's shadow moves over Ernest. The white-haired man pauses, looking shocked, before rushing into the cave.
Ernest. Ernest, are you right?
Ernest's eyes open just a crack.
Hey, Neil. Nice of you to join the party. A bit late, though.
Oh, shut up, you walking sack of meat. I'm gonna heal you, but you'll be weak for a bit. I should be able to get you back to town.
Ernest points weakly.
Heal her first.
What?
N looks over to see the dragon, only she doesn't look like a dragon anymore. A beautiful blonde nude woman lays where the dragon once was, only she's fallen in that perfect way to cover her important bits. This is Raylan. A puncture mark oozes blood from Raylan's left breast. N looks down at her, a fierce blush spreading across his face. He pulls off his cape and lays it over the woman. He holds his hand out and a wave of healing flows over her. The puncture mark closes and the woman stirs a bit. N stands up and starts to walk back over to Ernest, but he pauses and looks back down at the dragon woman. She really is beautiful. Exterior mountain, dusk. N trudges down the mountain, carrying Ernest on his back, who in turn has the unconscious dragon woman on his back.
Can't you go any faster? At this rate, I'll die of old age rather than my wounds.
Would you shut up? I just saved your life. A little gratitude wouldn't kill you.
Maybe not, Anne. But I've only got one life left, so I can't risk it.
Then at least lose some pounds. I swear you and the dragon girl both weigh as much as a mountain.
Hey, that's no way for a man to speak to a lady.
She's not a woman. She's a monster. She almost ate you. What? Ow, what the? Why the fuck did you kick me?
Stop your complaining and get up. Besides, we skipped leg day last week, so just think of this as training.
Oh, screw you.
Ernest lets out a bellowing laugh, and after a moment, N starts to laugh as well. The sun sets behind the mountain as N slowly trudges down towards the town.
These two are trained by Wheelchair Sensei.
Shut up.
That was an inside joke. It was very intentional. Interior mayor's home day. Raylan's eyes flutter open. She blinks, her vision slowly coming into focus to reveal a plainly furnished bedroom. She sits up in the bed, a sheet wrapped around her. There is a scar on her left breast. She looks down at her hands, human hands, but in one she sees Ernest's locket. Her free hand comes up to her face, and a moment of panic sets in. She walks over to a full-body mirror, completely human, except for her yellow draconic eyes. The door opens, and Nana steps through, holding a tray. Dan, do you want to do that one?
Sure. Oh, I see that you are awake. I've prepared a meal for you and some fresh clothes.
Nana is cut off as Raylan backhands her. The elf flies across the room, hitting the wall hard before falling to the ground unconscious. And that is you, Haley. Anything that says Raylan.
She was reading it.
I think I missed too.
Yeah, I couldn't hear her.
Yeah, you spoke over her.
There we go. Tisk. Weak body. That should have killed her.
She glances at Nana, who has a trickle of blood coming from her lips before stalking out of the room. Ernest's room. Ernest lay asleep, his wounds bandaged. Raylan's eyes glow as she glares down at him, both of her hands balled into fists at her sides. Blood trickles from her right hand as her grip tightens around the necklace so hard that her nails bite into her palms.
Insolent human. Even now, I feel last vestiges of who I was when I was a dragon fading away.
She looks over as a few weak strands of light are drawn from her into the the heart eater, which sits atop a nightstand right next to Ernest. Raylan's hand reaches towards the globe.
Must reclaim it while I still have the desire.
Ernest stirs beside her. She looks down at his missing arm, and then her fingers unwrap around the necklace. She pops it open and stares at the picture inside.
A treasure that can fill any hole, huh?
After a moment, she closes the locket and fastens the necklace around her neck.
Perhaps I will wait. I want to see if this greatest of treasures of yours can satisfy me.
She touches the scar on her breast and then runs a hand through a lock of Ernest's hair.
This avarice, at least this small vestige of my greed, I know that I can hold on to. It was born of the dragon's greed. This, I think, is uniquely from me.
She smiles and there is a warmth in it, something closer to the woman who will one day become the mother of Adele and his siblings. The end.
Yeah. He fucked the dragon.
And he fucked the dragon.
You are wrong! He did fuck a dragon! He hit on the dragon, then he got killed by the dragon, and then he fucked the dragon.
Yep.
I can feel in his head. Worth it.
It's all worth it.
Zach, I'm gonna be honest. Adele's dad sounds like a Chad. He really does.
He really is, to be fair.
You know, I never figured out what that even means, being a Chad. I think I've pretty much pieced together what being a Karen is, but not a Chad.
Okay, can I say something really mean that I don't mean?
Sure, I guess.
Because you're a virgin cock.
Oh. That hurt my feelings.
Sorry.
All right, so a Chad is what incels believe is the alpha male aesthetically pleasing figure that they should aspire to. They feel that Chads are fucking keeping them down, and since they don't look like this very specific way, because they're real into phrenology and dumb shit, that they can't have any sex. No woman will want them. And they believe a majority of women fall into two types. The Becky, which is like a boring frumpy nerd girl, and the Stacy, which is like a big titted curvy bimbo who's trying to fuck as many guys as possible.
I posted an informative.
Okay.
This is like, that is the bare bones explanation. It's like it goes even deeper because there are different types of incels.
All right, well, then, fair enough. I guess that is where we will end it for today. Yeah.
Bit of a shorter episode, but this is just an interlude,
Oh,
guys.
fuck, I just accidentally opened up Microsoft Edge. Let's get this done.
Yeah, so that's where we're going to wrap it up for tonight, guys. Thank you for listening, and we will be back with the same regular channel, or the same regular game on the same regular channel next week. But until then, live on, play strong, and roll out.
And there's totally going to be a character named Chad.